She was a princess, but the person she loved most was the one she was never allowed to have. Princess Annin grows up inside a royal palace where everything in her life is already decided before she can even understand it. Every step she takes is watched. Every word she says is guided. Her future is not something she chooses. It is something assigned to her by duty, tradition, and the weight of the crown she was born into. But from childhood, there is one constant presence in her life. Pin. Pin is not royalty. She is assigned to stay by Annin's side as her loyal companion, not as a friend in the ordinary sense, but as someone whose life becomes completely tied to the princess. She is always there, in the same rooms, the same hallways, the same private moments where no one else is allowed. They grow up together in silence and closeness. At first, it looks innocent. Two girls sharing childhood memories in the same palace, laughing at small things, growing up side by side without fully understanding the world around them. But something starts to change as they get older. It is not sudden. It is quiet, almost unnoticeable at first. Annin starts noticing that Pin is not just someone she feels comfortable with. She is the only person who makes her feel seen. The only person who makes her feel calm when everything else in her life feels controlled and heavy. And Pin, she notices it too. But she understands something Annin doesn't fully face yet. There is a line between them that cannot be crossed. Not because they do not feel anything, but because the world has already decided what they are allowed to be. Annin is a princess. Her future is already being prepared for her. Political marriage, royal duties, expectations of producing alliances for the kingdom. Her life is not hers. Pin is a servant in status, even if she is closer than anyone else in heart. Her role is to protect, to serve, to stay loyal, not to desire, not to dream, not to want something beyond her place. And that difference between them becomes the silent wall that grows stronger with time. Even when they are together, there is always something unspoken, a glance that lasts too long before it is broken, a moment where one of them almost says something, but stops, a silence that feels heavier than words. Annin begins to realize that what she feels is not normal friendship. It is deeper. It is emotional in a way she cannot explain. She finds herself thinking about Pin constantly, waiting for her presence, searching for her in every room, feeling empty when she is not there. And that realization confuses her at first, because she was never taught what to do with feelings like this. Pin feels it too, but she hides it better. She keeps her emotions controlled. She stays composed. She continues her role as if nothing is changing. But inside, she is constantly aware of Annin in a way that goes beyond duty. Every time Annin smiles at her, it stays in her mind longer than it should. Every time Annin calls her name softly, it feels heavier than it should. But Pin also knows the danger of what is growing between them, because loving a princess is not just forbidden by law or tradition. It is dangerous in a way that can destroy lives. As Annin grows older, the pressure around her increases. The royal family begins preparing her for marriage. A man is chosen for her future, someone politically suitable, someone powerful enough to secure alliances. But none of it feels right to her, because every time she is told about her future, her mind goes somewhere else. It goes to Pin, the only person who feels like home, the only person who makes everything else feel bearable. But that feeling cannot exist freely, so they begin to hide it, even without ever openly admitting what it is. They hide it in small actions, in the way they avoid looking at each other for too long in public, in the way their voices change when others are around, in the way they try to act normal even when nothing inside them feels normal anymore. And the more they hide it, the stronger it becomes. Because silence does not remove feelings, it only deepens them. The palace starts to notice their closeness, not in an obvious way, but in small details that powerful people always catch. The way Pin is always near Annin, the way Annin seems calmer only when Pin is present, the way their connection feels different from everything else around them. And slowly, pressure begins to build. Annin is reminded constantly of her identity. She is not just a girl, she is a princess. She belongs to a kingdom. Her choices are not personal, they are political. And Pin is reminded of her position just as often. She is loyal staff. She exists to serve, to protect, to obey, not to desire, not to step beyond her place. And yet, despite all of that, they cannot pull away from each other, because what they feel is not something they chose. It is something that grew over time, in silence, in closeness, in every moment they spent together. The emotional tension between them becomes heavier as the royal expectations grow stronger. Annin is pushed closer to her arranged future, while Pin remains by her side, watching it happen. knowing she has no right to stop it, and that becomes the most painful part. Not just the love, but the impossibility of it. Because no matter how strong their connection is, no matter how deeply they feel it, the world they live in was never designed to allow it to survive openly. So they reach a point where everything becomes internal, unspoken, locked inside them. Annan is torn between duty and desire, between the crown she must carry and the only person who makes her feel like herself. Pin is torn between loyalty and love, between staying where she belongs and wanting something she was never allowed to want. And in the middle of all of it, they keep choosing silence. Not because the feelings are not real, but because the consequences are. And in a palace built on rules, tradition, and control, their love becomes something fragile, something hidden, something that exists only in stolen moments and unspoken understanding, until they are forced to face the truth they have been avoiding all along. In their world, love like this was never meant to be simple. It was never meant to be free. It was only meant to exist quietly, and painfully, in the spaces where no one else could see it.
Every step of the way.